Morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hundoke. And today we have Reverend Daniel Meadows presenting, and it is Sunday, the 11th of May, 2025, or the 14th of April in the 13th year of Chongalguk. So thank you all for coming, and let's begin, as always, with a bow to our true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. Chanji Champunimge Kyombe. Paro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English.
가전맨세 2. 전일국 주인 우리 가족은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 전주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 춘신, 세계에서는 성인, 전주에서는 선자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 2. Our family, the owner of Chongalguk, pledges to represent and become central to heaven and earth by attending the Heavenly Parent and True Parents. We pledge to perfect the dutiful family way of filial sons and daughters in our family, patriots in our nation, saints in the world, and divine sons and daughters in heaven and on earth by centering on true love. I'd like to ask Jacinta Moreau if she could offer the opening prayer, please.
Good morning, beloved Heavenly Parent and our true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. Today is Sunday, the 11th of May, 2025, Mother's Day. And we really want to think of our true mother, our Holy Mother Han, on this day, the one who's really opened up the way to for all of us to come to understand and start to relate with our Heavenly Mother. And we're so grateful for all the events that happened last month that brought our Heavenly Parent down to the earth. And we really want to work hard to expand the environment for our Heavenly Parent to work, leading up to our Heavenly Parent's Day in 2027. And we're grateful to be able to be together in our Oceania morning Hundoke after a break for about 60 days. And pray that through this sharing together, we can come together closer as our brothers and sisters. And really feeling one in heart. And we pray that you can be with our speaker today. And we can come to learn more about you and your heart through their words. And offer this prayer in gratitude, praying in the name of Jacinta Moreau, the blessed family attending Holy Mother Han. Thank
you, and let's give a warm welcome to Daniel as he shares with us this morning.
What?
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, can see that. True parents are the hope of history. Yeah.
Oh, hang on, sorry. I can't see it. There we go. Morning, brothers and sisters. Today I wanted to share a few things. The sort of based on the inspiration of the recent Chonmongung opening, and I took some inspiration from the Chong Sung Yung about true parents being the hope of history. Especially it's Mother's Day, so it's always good to reflect upon our true parents on either True Father or True Mother's Day, and so especially True Mother's the one that the center of the providence at the moment, opening up the Chon Won Gung and the Chon Il Sanctum. So we can, when we are thinking about our mother, we can think of our Heavenly Mother and our True Mother, and all our other mothers. But the true parents are the hope of all the history. So when we're thinking about sort of reflecting upon the entire history of humanity, the entire history of that humanity has been through, then we look at the position that we currently stand in, and it's a very privileged position that we are able to be with true parents or see true parents and attend them directly, especially at such events as the opening of the Chon Il Sanctum. One of the very inspiring stories that came out of that was Irene's story. One of her reflections. She posted it up a little bit about it, but how she felt that the brothers and sisters who were sitting in Plaza A when when Mother gave her a prayer for the Chon Il Sanctum, and that sort of the snowstorm came down. She was sharing how she felt like everyone there was guardians of a temple, or sort of like soldiers of true parents or of God that were there to protect True Mother and protect the opening of the Chon Il Sanctum. Especially she described how even though when the snow came down, they were protected a little bit by the marquee that was there, but still it was very cold, and they weren't 100% protected. The snow was coming through. But she said no one left, no one moved to go and find shelter. Everyone stayed there and endured. And it felt like they were sort of there protecting true parents and standing on vigil for the opening. She also posted this song that a second gen made called Guardians of the Temple, and I really feel like that that song sort of also, it really sort of hit that sort of feeling of like that that our members are there protecting and attending our true parents. So I really love that story because it was again it highlighted that our members are not just sort of not just passively bystanders of history, but are engaged in an important way with what's happening, with attending our true parents and attending our Heavenly Parent, and providentially being involved in the victories of our true parents, of our heavenly parent, the victories of humanity, of history altogether, that we are active participants in that. It's very beautiful to sort of reflect and understand upon that we have that kind of position, and that we are bringing victory with what we are doing and the efforts that we are making, that they have ramifications worldwide and historically. They're not just things that we are doing. So we don't really consider, I don't always consider like that, thinking, well, sometimes it's very easy just to think we're just sort of following the motions that are going on, but we are really doing incredible things. We really are making incredible ripples, historically speaking. One of the main ones that I always remember when I think about members' victories is the True Parents helicopter crash. That was described to be my spiritual mother described it as like a sort of a members' victory, because the helicopter crashed, and then True Father was sort of suspended in the air on his seatbelt, and True Mother was in there as well, and the members all worked. They acted quickly and they acted fast, and they got everyone out. Especially they got True Parents out first, and once they'd sort of gotten everyone out and clear, then the helicopter exploded into a fireball. So Father talks about it as also a spiritual victory, with the trees representing the children, the true children in the spirit world, sort of protecting True Parents. But there's also, it was the victory of the members as well, because it was that time, it was True Parents who were sort of in a, well, I don't want to say helpless position, but like in a position of vulnerability. And it was up to the members to step up and who were there to be able to get them out and keep them safe. And they did that. So there's that kind of course, it's True Parents who are making the big and historical conditions, but we're a part of that. We're a part of those conditions, and we're a part of the protection of True Parents, and a part of the the force that stands with True Parents, and that Heavenly Parents is able to use in order to affect this new era in history. So that's another moment, was that sort of felt very real in that sense, was the opening of the Chonil Sanctum, that our members' attendance and our members being there somehow is, I think, perhaps spiritually so, more than the physically so, more than in, say, like the helicopter crash sense. Spiritually, we stood there and we attended True Parents and protected our True Mother, and stood as vigil guards. And it certainly felt like that was the case for those who were in Plaza A, were making that condition, because they knew that there would be bad weather. They didn't know how bad it would be, and it's very interesting that the bad weather happened right when Mother was praying, and I think I mentioned before, it looked like from where I was in the Chonu, the World Peace Center, it looked like a pillar was coming down directly onto the Chonmungung. Yeah, anyway, that was it's a great victory and a great thing that that we can really sort of have like as a badge of pride, that we attended our True Parents in that way. So from the Chongsong-gyong, because we are fallen people, we are an extended family that has lost its true parents. Since we lost our true parents, we could not become true children. Well, this is the case of humanity, and the case of all fallen people, is that we we have lost our qualification as true children, historically speaking. That due to the fall, we don't have that. We were without parents for so long, and that shows when we look historically, when we look at how human beings have behaved towards each other, towards their own families, and towards heavenly parents. It's not the behavior of true children, not behavior of sons and daughters of God. And so that qualification's been lost. That is really the deep importance of why having true parents now is such a game changer, historically speaking, for all humanity. I was talking to one sister who was in Chongpyeong. She was from America, and she was talking about she was talking very deeply and sincerely about a change in how did she put it, the Hyojong heart. She said she'd come to understand why Mother was talking about Hyojong all the time, and she says that there's a revolution of heart is possible, a revolution of Hyojong. She says that once people come to understand deeply what Hyojong is, what is that that kind of heart of true parents, she said that can change people, and that can change them permanently. And she has a great desire and a great mission to sort of invest in the beginning of that heartistic revolution, that Hyojong heart. It was very interesting what she was saying. She was really wanted young people to develop this heart and to really connect together with Heavenly Parents' true and deep heart. And as she spoke, then I began to think this must be really the point that true parents are bringing, because true parents' heart is on a different level to all of us, and if we can connect and inherit that heart, then yes, there's a way that we can become perfect as our Heavenly Father is perfect. That we can become those true children that we were supposed to be. Even though the highest ideals of goodness that God intended to establish at the time of creation, true parents and true children, all broke down, God has vowed that He will bring true parents into being. Even if a course of historical hardship is necessary, even if He has to endure endless hardship and suffering. So God did not opt to simply restart and redo humanity or redo the universe, but God vowed that He would bring true parents about, even though they could not come about at the proper time they should have come, when in the Garden of Eden at the beginning. He vowed they would come and that He would bring them. Even though God had to endure the suffering, and humanity had to endure together the suffering of history. To this day, living in a world where people don't know true parents, people don't have that heart of Hyojong, that heart of Heavenly Parent, where they're still suffering under the yoke of the satanic slavery that humanity has been under for all of history. This is why Mother's so desperate, she's saying, please go out and tell people and let them know and bring them to understand, because true parents are here. They don't have to be suffering under this sort of oppression, this self-imposed oppression that we live upon and live under. So that's the liberation of Heavenly Parent's heart. While humanity has not, now that the gates of the kingdom of heaven are open, there's nothing, no barrier to come for humanity to come to God. Only one of the biggest barriers is not knowing that it's the case, not knowing the time of our visitation, or not knowing what time, what is happening while we are on earth. So Mother, yeah, she's telling us about witnessing and letting people know, and really trying to open up the channels and the pathways for people to come to understand that we don't have to be orphans anymore. We don't have to be sort of lost and blown about, but it's now within our grasp to fully come into the embrace of our Heavenly Parent. At the same time, God is working to restore true children, true husbands and wives, true siblings, true nations, the true world, true humankind, and the true cosmos. God did not work by coming into the hearts of fallen people from the outset. He started working from a distance. So the course of the restoration and the work that God has been doing in order to restore humanity has been to bring about the true cosmos, the true humankind, the true world, the true nations, restoring true families, true children, husbands, wives, like this. That has been God's attempt. That is what God has been doing when guiding his people, giving them the 10 Commandments, sending his only begotten son, only begotten daughter, really having everyone doing his best to bring people into the understanding of how they really should live, and really how they should be, and where their heart should be connected to. And God cannot come to the hearts of fallen people from the outset. He cannot work as though we are under his direct dominion. For the longest time, God could not do such a thing, but had to work from a distance, had to affect change, sort of from through angels, or through central figures, through a distance, had to operate in the restoration of people's hearts and the restoration of the world. For the longest time, always Father was saying that Satan would attack first, and then God would then had to, would reclaim compensation, and then would work according to what was possible to be done in that time. It wasn't until a certain period of restoration that true parents brought about that it was okay. Now God is sort of more free to take the initiative before Satan. God has now become the king and queen of this world, the heavenly parent, and is now free to kind of move without having to allow Satan to go first and to do the move first. So God has been working from a distance for a very long time because of the distance that humanity has put between themselves and God. First, he connected to fallen people through all things, and then through his son, his true son. Now he intends to come into the heart of each individual to become the Father of heart. This is the goal of the providence of restoration. So God tried to, through all things, connect with people, through the remaining things that had not fallen, the creation, through this way to connect to people. And then finally, when God was able to send his only begotten son and his true son, then through that became the main channel. As history progressed, greater and greater channels were able to come through. When True Mother talked about human history, saying, she said, it's going to be a very difficult period in human history unless humanity can understand that Heavenly Parent is their parents. If all humanity can understand that their parents is Heavenly Parent and connect with Heavenly Parent, then it's going to be difficult. Things will be difficult, she says. And we can see that as a reality, that war isn't off the table. We all, at least I was thinking, okay, maybe war is one of those things that's going to wind down and not going to be a thing anymore. But so long as we don't understand that we are sons and daughters of God, and so long as the sort of those in power are more connected with their sort of selfish mind rather than the heart of true parents, then war will be something that is there, right? So Mother said humanity needs to recognize their Heavenly Parent. And the clearest channel to Heavenly Parent, the only way to true parent, Heavenly Parent is through true parents. That's the only way to be engrafted from a wild olive tree into the true olive tree is through the true parents, through those who stand as the original parents of humankind. So Heavenly Parent intends to come into the heart of each individual to become the Father of heart. So that's the sort of end goal, is that Heavenly Parent wants to be connected to us all, not just that we receive top down from a leader or from true parents or from whoever, but that God connects with us directly. Again, Mother is telling us this. She says, go, if you have any doubts or questions, go into Chomshimwon and talk to God directly. Talk to your Heavenly Parent directly. Make the effort to make that connection, she is saying to us. This is truly an important direction that we keep in our minds, that we need to connect with our Heavenly Parent. All of you brothers and sisters here today know that well and are doing that through your hundoke and through your dedication and involvement. That's our connection, right? Our connection to our Heavenly Parent that we are fostering and cultivating. This is the final goal of the providence of restoration. This is where we finally want to get to, is the free connection with our Heavenly Parent, without any barrier or restriction, that we can live under God's direct dominion as the sons and daughters of God. This is, I feel like, what the sister who was talking to me in Chomkyong was sort of alluding to, and that cultivating that heart that connects with God, that Hyojong heart. Excuse me. So finally, this. The true parents are the symbol of all hope, the symbol of absolute hope for fallen people. They are the fruit of history, the center of all ages, and the center of all the nations of the world. The true parents are the starting point of a future that connects to the ideal world. Adieu. What have our ancestors wished for throughout the ages in history? If the world were united, whom would it wish for? It would wish to find the true parents. In other words, it would wish to relate with the true parents eternally. They're the fruit of history, the center of all nations and all ages. So, and the true parents are the starting point of a future that connects the ideal world. So just as in the Garden of Eden, the true parents, if the true parents had have appeared, they would have been the starting point to the ideal world. Not the conclusion of, but the starting point. And so our true parents also, they're the starting point. They've made the initial spark that lights the fire, or the sort of start of the construction of the ideal world. It's some beautiful imagery here. Is, if the world were united, whom would it wish for? What have our ancestors all wished for? What if the world was to come together? What would they really, what would really benefit a united humanity, a united world? They would want true parents. They would want to relate with true parents. They would want someone who would be able to lead them to that ideal world. When you look at sort of the communist nations, they sort of had a twisted version of this, where they looked at their great revolutionary leader and said, "Oh, great! This person is really just looking out for the common man and the the downtrodden, and they're going to lead us to a more fair world and a fairer government where we won't have this oppression and inequality," which was the great ideal for them. Unfortunately, it was very much the opposite of what they were dreaming and hoping. But communism is kind of like the twisted ideal of how things are, is that human beings do long for this. Excuse me. They do long for true parents. They long for someone who can lead them into an ideal world. That has been the hope of all the ages, and ancestrally how people really wished to see. But perhaps people have looked in the wrong place, or who knows, or anyway, providential history progressed in such a way that it wasn't up until now that true parents could appear. And so we are in again that incredible time, and our attendance and our investment in true parents is not inconsequential. It's so important, and so blessed are we who are able to be those people. The victory of members and the victory of members' attendance, I think, is it's always overshadowed a little bit because of true parents' victory, and because of the incredible things that true parents are doing that we wish to honor. But together with all of it is the victory of members who attend and support and unite and are there, either there or supporting from a distance. It's all involved, and it's all very important. So Yeah, we have an absolutely incredible opportunity in being the ones to attend Heavenly Parent. I remember when True Father passed away, my spiritual son, he was sort of Eugene, in Sydney, he was crying and he was saying, "Oh, I didn't get to really attend True Father," and I said to him, "Well, you did though. You did attend him." He said, "Yes, but not enough." Um, yeah. So we are truly blessed that we, at least to some degree, have been able to attend our true parents. Uh, I didn't anyway. That I hope that that last story maybe was a bit somber. I wanted to end it on a more happy note, but anyway, the yeah. So it is a great blessing, and the especially the stories of the victories that people went through on Chonil Sanctum, on the opening of the Chonil Sanctum, are really so incredible. And thank you everyone who attended in person or who attended from Australia or from your nation. I think we truly all stood there as representatives and of uh, of sort of guardians in a way of our true mother and of our heavenly parents through this sort of final step to open up the gates of the kingdom. Aju, thank you very much, brothers and sisters.
Thank you, Reverend Daniel. Thank you for sharing those words and insights and thoughts today. And yeah, as you read, explaining about true parents are the hope of history. You know, God's hope, fallen histories, or mankind's hope. It's true. I mean, the true parents really are the hope of all humankind, and I felt that these words were showing God's love of determination to bring true parents, to bring His children, to establish His lineage substantially in reality, and the opening of the gates are the realization of His dream that He spent thousands of years to come, and so the hope is realized, and that's something to let sit deeply. I mean, hope oftentimes is the expectation, is the waiting, is the it's going to come, it will happen, and we're pointing to somewhere in the future. But now the hope is realized, it's here, the gates are open, and the hope is no longer something in the future. It's something to celebrate. It's something to praise. It's something to really shout with great enthusiasm and joy. That truly, God is here, and we can attend God anytime. So it's not like, oh, we missed the opportunity to attend. The true parents have, together with our heavenly parent, have been substantially uh, uh, placed in their home on earth, and that's for all eternity. So the attendance will never end. There was always the time during the hope as we're marching forward to realize God's will, God's dream, that we will be able to attend, that we can attend, that we can attend. And so there was only small opportunities here and there. Now the opportunity is open completely wide with the opening of the gates. Anyone can go and attend our true parents, and this attendance will never end. It'll be for all eternity. And so more and more I think about the opening of the gates and the hope realized, God's dream fulfilled. This is really an amazing time and we're at the beginning of that. And yes, I mean, yeah, we're the guardians of the temple in this respect of attendance. But then I was thinking about, well, who are the greatest guardians? What's the quality of the guardian or the child? It is a loyal child. It is a child that has this hyojon, that has this filial piety, that is acknowledged as a true child. And we were all acknowledged by Mother saying that, that we, the blessed families, are truly chosen, and we are truly the children of our Heavenly Parent and our true parents. And so this was really a substantial understanding, that touched my heart, that we are God's children at last. With the opening of the gates, God can embrace us freely, without limitation, without any hesitation. Always there was we had to wait, but then this is not the case now. We can attend at any time, and God can interact at any time, and God has that absolute authority now. Not only is He, absolute faith and absolute love and absolute obedience, but also now absolute authority. And when you described that where you were, your vantage point, and you looked up to the temple and you saw like that weather was just like a pillar just coming down on the temple, it made me reflect on, because when we were up there, and completely in it, it seemed like it was everywhere over the entire mountain. It was being bombarded by this intense weather, but you saw it like a pillar coming down, and I was thinking, we talk about the pillar of fire and a pillar of cloud, the light of day and the light of night, and all of these sort of symbols. But you saw this pillar coming down, and what usually happens in a weather event, when you look at the way rain occurs, it's actually pure water flowing down, pure water falling upon the loyal children who are standing guard, not just guarding to protect, but guarding to welcome, because the gates are open and everyone can go in, but you can only go in as pure water, as a family, as a blessed true child. And so it was interesting, sitting there. All weather happened. It was sun, it was wind, it was rain, it was snow, at sometimes even warm, and then cold, and then intense cold. Some people saying that they've never experienced cold as that, and there was someone saying that they've been in areas where it's like -15, -20, and this cold hit the bone even more than that experience. And so I was thinking, this pure water from heaven coming down is guaranteeing that everyone that enters can truly become the pure water that God wants all of us to be, because a true child, Adam and Eve, were born pure, were born in God's lineage, and now God's lineage is realized through the opening of the gate. So the hope is not something to wait for anymore, but the hope is manifested in the actual ability for us to attend Heavenly Parent as our parent, as God desired at the very, very beginning. So anyway, they were some of my thoughts this morning as you were reading and reflecting, and I also was reflecting that way. So thank you, and open it up to others who'd like to share. Thank you. Yes, Margaret, go ahead.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Thank you, Daniel, for such a wonderful sharing this morning. I could not help but think in perspective that after Jesus was crucified, the 12 disciples all went in a very difficult course in their death. And now with the victory of true parents, everyone is invited in, not to just experience Heavenly Parent, but to make the pathway for all of our ancestors. And in preparation for going to Korea, reaching out to the speaker and his wife, there were times I felt, oh, here we go again, preparing meeting and many things. Then I thought, this is an opportunity for this couple to experience this historical time. And at the John Wang-kun, when Reverend Stone came over and said, the speakers are invited to go to Jongil Sanctum, and I just like, whoa. And not only that, they were given the chombo gowns. Then I realized that this is what it means to help others enter the kingdom. We never know what heaven will offer. So in line with what Daniel have just shared, this is now the time that we really go all out in witnessing, in sharing with people. President Hori also mentioned that the Han epic is all blessed families become an extended part of the Han tribe. So there's so many blessings True Mother is giving us. Even with the robes for Chombo, we were not asked to pay money for it. So this is the Heavenly Mother's heart that wants to welcome her children. So I'm sure everyone who went are having so many different thoughts. So I'll just stop there and let everybody share their own thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Wright, go ahead.
Good morning. And, thank you, Daniel. I think you are doing so much hard work in Korea tour, organize and also looking at the 6 children, but also involving quite youth event, many things. And I wonder he can, I think, recover well, and I pray for you. So today is a Mother's Day. And I saw a few days ago a documentary in Africa, like Kenya, capital city, Nairobi. It's a beautiful, I think, economy is getting better. It's developing, but I don't know, maybe 1/3 of people still poverty. If you go there, and it's a village life. I think women's position is lower, and quite often, and after marriage, some kind of kids is disabled children born. That time, because women's position is lower, then women has responsibility in many cases. Then sometimes women were kicked out. They're living with children looking after. I think historically, it's many thousand years. I think women's position is lower. I think still we talk about two parents, but it's still there. Quite many cases, many nations, many people. So I think before two parents, how it can be two husband and wife, an ideal position. That is really when I when I look at it's women's wife, and I can find out quite many things, and mission of wife it is incredible, like born child and looking after, having milk and food, and take care, and for the washing clothes, and also giving education, and supporting husband, and looking after other families, tribe, and it is incredible lot of mission women has, which sometimes husband don't understand. And so I think really is now when we attended this intern ceremony, emphasizing to mother's mission, and look at 14 holy picture and artwork. I think start for the two mothers, and also finally also two mother, centering on through mother, Holy Mother hand, to lead to for the entrance ceremony. And I think this is, I think, historical time, because in the future, all religious leader was men, but actually God created men and women. And finally, I think time of appear of two parents, and also we truly really respect, thanks to all mother today, and truly appreciate a lot. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And happy Mother's Day, everyone. Yes, Brenda, go ahead.
Oh, hi, everyone. Thanks very much for the sharing, Daniel, and highlighting that it's about the heart. Our connection with God's about the heart. And thanks very much to Mr. Arai for mentioning that even though there's all the great words about bringing God into our lives and problems being solved, there's still not equality between men and women, nothing like it in the Western world as well. So I think that's really respect Mr. Arai for being a realistic person, never just looking at the ideal, but telling what's real. I just want to mention about the snow. We talked about the snow and being pure water, but my feeling in being there was, why do we have to suffer again? Why do we still have to suffer? And I'm kind of a bit hesitant to say this in the morning devotion, because people only seem to say positive things. But there are a lot of people that were saying that and feeling that our lives are still incredibly difficult. So probably the message for me was, even though it's still very difficult, and Margaret mentioned about Heavenly Parent freely giving things, But for me, it's still a struggle to feel like I'm receiving much, because physically the trip was so incredibly difficult and cost such an enormous amount of money that it is still hard to attend and to feel God's love, and our lives at home are still so hard. So this is, I suppose, the main message that I want to share is I'm gradually finding God, the power of God, and through parents to very slowly release the difficulty and open the doors for hope. So I'm happy. I'm incredibly grateful, and God gradually gives me little cracks of light. So I'm full of hope as well. But I do think it's I don't know. I just feel like it's important when we're in a group to share that it isn't all, we're already in the kingdom of heaven and we're all just on the clouds. Life is still very grueling. So there are many other people that can't get to morning's devotion and can't share that kind of stuff. So I'm just, the reason I came today under difficulty is because I wanted to see the faces of my brothers and sisters and share the love together and try to support each other and be in a community, because geographically we're separated, we can't meet each other. So really happy to have the morning service again, and to somehow God is helping us to be able to be there. And thank you so much for organising everyone and putting all the effort in to make it happen. I'm happy to see you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, everyone. It's actually time now for us to offer our unison prayer. So I'll just share the screen. Okay, let's pray together. Stop sharing and bring it back to the sound is cutting out. Should we be... Okay. Jew. Thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Daniel, and I hope everyone has a great day and see you all again tomorrow. So thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Daniel.